Okay, welcome. We're doing a deep dive today into, well, the sometimes surprisingly specific world of U.S. lawmaking. We're zoning in on just one document, H.R. 250.
That's right. And just so you know, HR simply means it's a bill that started in the House of Representatives. This one's officially called the Statute of Benjamin Franklin Act. And it's actually already passed the House.
Oh, it has. When was that?
Yeah, back on February 26, 2025. So it cleared that first chamber.
Okay, so it's moved past that initial hurdle. What happened next? Where did it go?
Well, the very next day, February 27th, it got sent over to the Senate. And there, it was referred to a specific committee, the Committee on Rules and Administration.
Rules and Administration. Why them specifically?
Well, they often handle things related to how the Senate operates and, importantly, the administration of the Capitol complex itself. So, a bill about putting a statue in the Capitol, that kind of fits their remit.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so it's now officially in the Senate pipeline. Let's unpack this bill. What exactly does it tell people to do? What are the marching orders, basically?
It's pretty clear, actually. It gives a direct order to a group called the Joint Committee on the Library.
Joint Committee, meaning members from both the House and Senate.
Exactly, yeah. They oversee the Library of Congress, but also, crucially here, the art and historical objects, within the Capitol building.
Yeah.
And this bill tells that committee they need to get a statue of Benjamin Franklin.
Interesting. So a specific congressional committee gets tasked with actually acquiring this statue. Is there like a time frame?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a deadline just for entering into the agreement to get the statue. That has to happen by December 31st, 2025.
Wow. Okay. So pretty soon, relatively speaking, they need to get the ball rolling on finding it and securing it.
That's the idea.
Now, here's where I thought it got really interesting. It's not just get the statue. It's about where it goes, right?
Absolutely. That's a really key part. The bill says this joint committee shall place the statue somewhere permanent and suitable inside the U.S. Capitol. But, and this is important, there's a condition linked to, well, public access.
Public access? How so? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, the spot they choose. It has to make the statue visible, accessible to people who are taking one of the official guided tours. The ones run by the Capitol Visitor Center.
Okay. So it can't just be stuck in some, back office or hallway nobody sees. It needs to be prominent, part of the public experience when you visit the Capitol.
Exactly. It ensures that Franklin's presence is, visible to everyday visitors, connecting that symbol directly to the public.
That feels quite significant for someone like Franklin. And I assume there's a deadline for that part, too, the placement.
You guessed it. Just like getting it, there's a deadline for placing it. The bill says the statue needs to be fully placed, installed, by December 31st, 2026.
Okay, so acquire by end of 25. Place it where tour groups can see it by end of 26. Got it.
That's the timeline laid out in the law.
So, stepping back, what does this all really tell us? We're looking at this very specific, quite detailed piece of legislation. It's moving through Congress right now, and it's all about getting one statue, Ben Franklin, into one particular kind of location in the Capitol by specific dates.
Right. It really highlights just how deliberate and specific Congress can be, even for something that might seem symbolic, like deciding which historical figures get statues where.
It's not just like an administrative decision someone makes on the fly. It's literally being decided through a formal act of Congress.
Yeah, it shows you that even these, seemingly smaller symbolic things in the heart of U.S. democracy, they're often governed by these formal processes with specific committees, set timelines, the works. It kind of underscores the weight given to the symbols we choose to display in the Capitol building.
So we've looked closely at this one bill, H.R. 250. We've seen its journey so far, and the pretty precise instructions it gives about getting a Ben Franklin statue into the Capitol, visible to the public on a set schedule. When you think about this formal, detailed legislative process just for placing one statue, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, about how we decide who gets represented in these really important national spaces. And it raises a bigger question, I think. How many other figures that we see honored in the Capitol actually got there because of a specific act of Congress like this one?
That's a really interesting thought.
Yeah, and what does that maybe tell us about the intention behind who and what we choose to memorialize right there at the center of American government? Something to think about.